So surprising that that's not a Latin American strategy. I mean, it's definitely a case where like they were the region to be playing Caveira first, but Habana going to be the first to ban. So will we get a double hard breacher ban and see Maverick go as well?
It would make a lot of sense.
It's definitely possible. Although, you know, maybe Maverick's just not a big problem for them. And Glaz certainly is in this region for a lot of teams. Anyone who doesn't have a super strong Glaz should always consider banning it against most Latin American teams.
I mean, it would make sense. You really don't need like deal with GCR or something with playing on Glaz. Definitely
not a fun thing to encounter.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And Mira banned here. I want to say Clubhouse as well as Consulate are two maps where I'm like, maybe you shouldn't be banning Mira.
It's not usually a big deal these days, so it seems like not super useful, but Echo being banned, as I mentioned earlier, not a surprise, as it's pretty consistently banned for Latin America at the moment. In fact, I mean, it was only banned once, I think, during week 1, Playday 1, but like I said, consistently for Playday 2. So we'll see, though. Church is going to be the starting place here, which has kind of become the norm. It was only briefly not the norm, really. It was always the norm for a long time. They revamped Clubhouse. Cash became a thing. Gym actually became kind of the secondary temporarily as well, especially when the impact tricks were working. People were trying to figure out what they could get away with, what they couldn't. But Cash was actually not very consistently working most of the time. No. So it's not a surprise to see it get dropped off.
It almost never worked.
No, it was the garage definitely became a big problem for it. We saw a lot of like Monty pushes and stuff. We still see those, but they're more successful now than they used to be, I think.
Well, I'm interested in seeing how things go here in the church. Valkyrie will be in play, which is pretty interesting. I remember back in the day, Latin America used to run a lot of shotgun on the Valkyrie.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was quite a few teams that did when the Spaz was the way to go.
Sisu back then used to play it quite considerably. I don't know. I think we're reminiscing on a lot of
getting nostalgic about the shotgun days. Yeah, that's not gonna happen for me.
I'm very happy that they're not a thing anymore.
I've moved on.
Yeah, maybe we all should. You know, haha, German operators. No, please, for the love of God, move on. It's like one of those stages in a relationship.
10 seconds.
The Maestro here, Revolt's actually going to set up. He already has one Evil Eye out, and I'd assume that it's been...
he's calling for an ADS, that's good. Make sure he has that.
So he has one Evil Eye that'll launch on the hallway, and the second one he's going to put it in the back in the stockroom. No? There's a few spots you can... He's going to put it on the jukebox. Alright. Interesting. Okay. I get it. Usually, we used to see Goddess, for example, would destroy any equipment that's on the table next to the jukebox and actually set the Evil Eye on it. It's more difficult to spot and to take out. It's a pretty smart position, I have to say.
Let's see what we get here as far as the attack. They're going to go actually for a top-down clear first. Good start there, is they are not just running into bar and potentially running into any roamers, but hopefully they drone to the rest of the top floors. It looks like right now he's just kind of sticky on the stairs, which is not exactly a safe position to be in unless Buck successfully cleared Cash first, because of course people could rotate around on you through bedroom, which they could also be in, same with office.
And has already set up his drone, so it can give him information from the blue stairs. And the Jackals track the Jaeger, I believe they're playing in the back. That's FK1. Just switch around and move into the
bomb has been located.
Stairs. In the meantime, Avalanche will continue to drone. It's very interesting how paiN went for the clear on the top floor first before they moved in. Will destroy the wall and even the top part of the floorboard here in the kitchen. There's nobody from below to reply, though there are 2 C4s available on Black Dragon, something
attackers have located a bomb.
Excuse me, for paiN that Black Dragons will have to watch out for. There you go, Ion. Get the first one, and those holes working out very, very well.
Fortunately, lost half his health, but definitely worth it. I mean, he did enough damage to set it up for some kills, open up a lot of the wall, but a lot of the wall's not reinforced, and that's more of a Latin American thing. They do a lot less reinforcing overall to give themselves the flexibility to be able to fight the way they want to mid-game.
But we saw this so many times now that the wall in the hallway is soft. And it's not just soft, but it's already been destroyed by the buck.
Yeah, you don't need an Ash to do that. You can bucket from above, so.
Yeah, fairly relative safety, I have to say. So now there's a lot of options for Black Dragons to move in if required. We'll just have to decide on which one to go for. They're trying to time the C4 here as the Maestro is in the back and connect GDN will go down. It's a huge pick.
That's the only hard breacher available. Yeah, they can't get in through that church wall now, but at least Spawn's going down in the meantime, so they're still winning this attack pretty heavily with just Meister left.
Beautiful double play, but again, that hole in the wall will do so much work. Panico holding the opposite end, and he still has his teammate that already went into the armory, and that was all the clear that they required. Round number 1 will go the way of the attack, even with the fact that the defense got a perfect pick on the Thermite. And something we have to recognize in that position is that even when there wasn't a ton of time left and the Thermite was lost, it didn't take long for the execution to happen.
I mean, execution is a good term for it at that point. It was definitely a case of like you said, a lot was open. They had plenty of flexibility. Yeah, they couldn't open the church wall, but it's not like there was a mirror there or anything that was watching them because that was banned. So they just had to go for the C4 throw. Now that did benefit them in the C4 throw working, taking down that hard breacher. But at the same time, it was a case of, well, maybe too little too late at that point as you hadn't reinforced a whole lot else. And it's not due to lack of reinforcements. They weren't reinforcing so many things. They lacked it. It's just... It's a stylistic thing to give themselves more options, more fluidity, but at the same time, you're also doing the same thing for the attackers. You really have to do that with a more considered thing. In fact, I believe it was an interview where you were talking about, asking why isn't that not reinforced during North America, and it was like, well, anything can work. I think it was Yeti saying that. Anything can work.
It's
how do you play it exactly? And it's a case of like, well, yes, but is the thing? Are you giving them the option to play it better than you can?
More often than not, I have to say.
Yeah.
I would love to have some sort of statistic to pop up and tell me that I'm right.
That would be a hard one to be like, how many times is this wall, soft, and how often does that backfire?
There you go, GG.
Challenge given.
I hope they accept it, because this is definitely a statistic that I would love to have.
Yeah.
As I do tend to harp on and on and on and on about that wall specifically. Name a more iconic duo, right?
Milosh and repeating.
Whoa. Alright, well, Panico will continue on to drone in the strip club. He'll have information to confirm there's nobody up on the top floor. Teams to the bathroom, inside a pool table, no one in there. GDN will also clear the top floor. The problem with Clubhouse for a lot of teams is that it's such a big map that unless you're very coordinated and, what do you say, trained in the art of clearing the map with your drones, it would take you way too long. So the whole team has to really do their thing and allow one another to enter the map or enter the building itself without having to worry about opponents.
Here's what doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Did you see how many resources they dedicated to the dirt tunnel?
Yeah.
If Habana is banned, guess what Thermite's going to be using his breach charges on? At the very least, one hatch. And at that point, saving either one for the church wall, which is most likely the case last round, or getting 2 hatches, which is also a good thing to do, because the hatches are just too valuable, especially that one right there, GDN, waiting for maybe Ion to do a little damage first, start to buck above before he goes to open it, because, you want to make sure no one's just below the hatch going to C4 or trying to impact nade. But again, this is, they had an ADS, they had barbed wire, they had smoke sitting there. Ooh, nice initial kill there. But
that's a beautiful trade, actually.
Yeah.
The Ash and the Jaeger clearing one another.
Seems
out.
appropriate.
Now,
that wall opened again, fully.
And now here's the big problem, is that, well, sure, you killed the Ash, but you lost the Jaeger, and you already had ADSs in the tunnel.
Yeah, he can't reposition it now.
Indeed.
Again, it just seems like a bit of a mistake in terms of dedicating resources when it's unlikely to be pushed. And even then, you're not going to stop it. You're just going to be delaying it at the very least. No, he's still waiting for a push from that side. You just heard the second Thermite go off.
Yeah.
Or no, that was, no, I'm sorry, that was the... Did they stop it?
Both charges have been used.
It looks like they might have stopped the kitchen one. It looked like the hatch might have still been reinforced. It was hard to see, to be 100% sure.
Of course, we don't have our own...
Yeah, no, you can't hear us.
Yeah, which means we can't really get the deets on it. C4 in, and this should be an easy one. What is Hugzor doing there? Just standing out in the open and holding
At least it wasn't Thermite this time.
Very
Not
odd
that it
position.
matters now.
Yeah, it's very true. Ion still watching in, preparing for the push of Gabrilos, but spawns will go down. GCR coming in. Low on health, still on the mute. It's a 2v3. Equal in health, that's for sure. Coming in from behind, Panico will find one. He'll turn around to face the hallway as GDN will go in for the plant. The Maestro can't really do anything in this situation. They're getting the information, but it's not enough to clear this plant as it will go down. For Black Dragon, shotgun. Already been heard in the back. Revolt in the back of the armory, holds fire in, and more damage being done to GDN, but Panico will find one. Now they know where Revolt is. Still more damage in exchange onto GDN. Flash, though, should be Revolt's ultimate demise here, as he's now getting lower and lower on health. Flashed in for a bit, but it'll push in close to his opponent. So spray with so much ammo still left in the magazine, and paiNico finally finds the kill from Blue, and that's the clear they need.
I mean, I was just talking about how this game at the moment is fairly defensive-sided. This map, especially fairly defensive-sided, and Latin America generally is on this map more defensive-sided. But these defensive setups from paiN are just, they're misplays in themselves. I mean, the C4 over the wall is so far the only consistently decent thing I've seen coming out of paiN on these defenses, other than just maybe the Jaeger trade for the Ash. But it's like, that actually wasn't worth it, because an early Ash kill is not super valuable more often than not, because Ash is somewhat of a sacrificial operator to come on in, and if you can get away with stuff, great. If you can at least help your team take most of the map, great. Like, it's not a huge trade, and the fact that the Jaeger died, as you said, could not reposition things. They're going to try Church a third time. Are they going to make any adaptations? Honestly, if they don't adapt anything, at this point, they deserve to lose this defense yet again. They are going to bring the Pulse this time to have a little more intel, though. I got to wonder, though, will they be trying to counter Ion opening up holes in the floor inside of Kitchen or not? I mean, that is often, you know, the Pulse play. It could be the case where he just holds a position inside of Church, looking for the opportunity to make sure that C4 hits again. If you see the top of that wall open, though, I gotta say, if you're BD, maybe not stand right there anymore when you see the top of the wall open. Maybe, I don't know, go into Moto.
I think you probably shouldn't be playing this site at this point.
Yeah, this is definitely not a site that's been working out for them. It is interesting to see them try it a third time. To be fair, they got a lot closer to winning it that last time.
Yeah, but I'd imagine if they lose it round 3 and then they still go for it, I'm like, guys, hey, look.
Yeah.
You know the definition of insanity. Like,
what I disagree with, though, is taking out the Maestro, because Maestro is such a strong operator, especially with Echo out of play, that just, I don't know. I mean, I honestly feel like you're going to get more mileage out of the Maestro than you would out of a Pulse.
And I think the biggest...
Especially with an IQ on board.
Indeed. And I think the biggest problem in the previous round, something you highlighted very distinctly, that there was so much utility in play in that tunnel that it didn't really allow for any flexibility later on in the round.
I mean, the upside was that the smoke was able to at least stay alive, but it's like, what is that worth? You know?
At what cost?
Yeah, he wasn't able to do a significant amount later on. He was able to get the 1 kill from Moto.
There you go. There you go. It's going to spray on him, and 25 damage done to the Pulse. At least it'll force him back.
For free. Yeah. Well, it's funny that he hadn't got that camera yet. But yeah, now Pulse is going to be out of position because he can't stay there anymore, which now gives the opportunity to take out Kitchen. But surprisingly, Buck actually working his way potentially into Blue instead. But we did see him clearing that early later on, so may just be doing that right now, while iBlacks just kind of keeps things held down in the Kitchen area, make sure that the Pulse isn't going to be getting any kind of position. But they're not opening up any holes here.
Is GDN going to go for tunnel? I think he is.
I mean, might as well if they're just, at this point, they probably will shift their resources.
We saw him move around, and again, we're running with, like, a Latin America observer, so they can't really hear us, so we can focus on these sort of things.
Well, they did put the barbed wire in there, but it looks like maybe not the ADS this time. So it's still 2 barbed wire, though. But they don't even have to go into dirt, necessarily. They could just kind of keep them busy.
I wonder why there's no Maverick in play. Just try and destroy some extra parts of the map here. A great shot from FK1 to take down Ion, and that's definitely an entry that paiN have required, because it's been very painful for them to try to stop Black Dragons once they get the motions rolling.
Yeah, I'm not sure I feel this Blue and dirt push attempt here. So far, I mean, losing Ion is definitely a big problem because they didn't open up anything on the floors. They didn't really make use of a skeleton key.
This is why they have GDN coming in. See, 2 smoke canisters have already been expended. Whatever Gabrielos has 1 more in the back. ADSs will get burned here by the stun grenade. As there you go, that's the last smoke canister. FK1 will find another one on paiNico, and that is what was required. A shotgun to the face as Gabrielos takes down GDN. Now all up to iBlacks as Hugzord will go down, and the IQ will try to save the day. Finally, the round working in the way of paiN as FK1 from above will find it. Just rotated all the way around and spray this entire magazine into the IQ, and there you go. That's all that was required. Pretty,
I mean, that time it wasn't so much that paiN had a better defense. It's that Black Dragons just chose the wrong attack. I mean, I have to imagine it was either due to them wanting to surprise, or due to them seeing something on their droning that made them make that call, that their IGL was like, you know what, let's go this way. But again, what's the point of sending a buck down the tunnel except for maybe grenades? But you know there's a Jaeger in play. There's a good chance. If you don't have someone with you to burn an ADS, you're not going to get any mileage out of the grenades anyways. So you're not getting anything out of the skeleton key. You're potentially not getting anything out of the grenades. You're putting yourself in a situation where if no one's flanking from the stairs, you're probably just walking into a trap to an extent. And that's exactly what happened. It was not a good position. You lost him early on. You did nothing really from above for the most part in terms of putting pressure on other than the IQ shooting the pulse a little bit. I don't know. It just seemed like a little bit of a mistake.
You have to wonder about the decision-making that is going on there.
And I'm not saying they're making bad decisions. I'm saying they're making decisions that don't seem to fit the situations that they're being presented with.
Yeah. And not really being flexible during the round itself. It's kind of...
Well, they are going to have the Pulse and the Maestro this time. So this should be interesting to see how that's going to work upstairs. It is very helpful, of course, to have Evil Eye in Garage, for example. Very typical thing to have, as well as one somewhere on site to be able to have some idea if there's a smoke plant coming in, which definitely is a possibility as Hugzord is going to be running the smokes on that Jackal. So definitely could come out. One change up from the attack, for the most part, is going to be iBlack's bringing that Twitch. Should be interesting. They're also going to have the Thatcher, of course, to be able to open up. As they know, of course, now that the church has been won, they're going to be playing upstairs. But guess what? No mute or bandit. So you don't necessarily need it. I mean, it still can be helpful. You temporarily disable Pulse. You temporarily disable Maestro's Evil Eyes. You could potentially take out some of the Black Eyes and some ADSs, but it's still not directly countering anything very important. You just might take out some site utility.
I have to wonder also, you know, this. You mentioned that no bandit, no mute, and it's kind of just paiN saying, you know what, you want to take the wall.
This is such a very different region
than
EU and NA, really. Because I mean, and I don't mean that in any negative or positive way. I just mean it always is. It's always NA and EU tend to be a lot more similar in Latin America.
It's like it says, Black Dragons have find the boy.
Yeah, boy. They found it. They found him.
All right.
Well, Iron getting good mileage out of a skeleton key in some sense, at least this round, but they do want to clear some ADS if he wants to nade down there at all. But they got the wall open already because, as we were talking about, nothing to oppose that, which sets them up for potential smoke plant. They could go in and clear ADSs with the shock drones if need be, and then give them the opportunity to smoke plant it. I mentioned they could also clear ADSs just with flashes from GDN.
Now the question is, where will the second charge GDN be used? Is it going to be on the site in construction, or is he going to use it more for garage, which would make a lot of sense. This way you can also fight against players in stairs, fight against the Maestro that is playing upstairs in the garage.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you can do in this one, and a lot of flexibility, but...
Yeah, you just got to be careful, because often, if you open it with a thermite, you're going to set yourself up to have someone watch that angle on you, and you could be watching this. Wow, they are really stacked up right here.
That's a Zerg rush if I've ever seen.
They are just, this is retake. This is full retake strat right here. They are waiting for the push to come in, because they know it has to come in from the server room or the garage. So they're just stacked up on this side because they know a push is very unlikely to come from that side. And then, of course, Revolt's setting up for potential C4 plays later on, as well as to be able to call them out for spawns. So, I mean, they're not in the worst position. Both teams are in fairly decent positions right now. It's just going to be who makes the first mistake and starts losing some of their players, most likely to steamroll. But time does burn out for the attackers while the defenders get to gain advantage from it.
Very true. Truer words have never been said. Grenade's going to be cooked up here in the back, and of course ADS has already been burned, which means there will be nothing to catch the grenade as it gets thrown in, but it does no damage, unfortunately, for the attacking side. And you know what damage? Still gets some C4. It's knocking at your door, and Spawns will find one GCR. The second Ion at least will get a refrag on FK1, but
that's
at what call?
They lost their smokes now.
And that's 2 kills. That's the exact 2 that they required for this one. Revolts will come in. He'll find 1 kill. And Spawns will win it out against Ion. What is this fight that is going on? Fire as the QE spam from iBlacks on the Twitch. Will try to find the kill in the back. Pulls out the P9. He fires in the back, but you already see that diffuser's on the floor, and there's no time left. The defense of paiN Gaming will take it, and that was just...
Unfortunately, I gotta wonder if maybe the drone economy, as we like to call it, was not doing so great for Black Dragons, because what won paiN that round? Holding back. Staying outside of the room, not giving them any free picks. Then they got a few good kills. I mean, the kill on the Thatcher, no big deal. That was a C4 kill. not the worst. It was a situation where it was just because, well, they couldn't get good pressure on paiN to keep them back from any potential C4 throws. But whatever, you didn't need the Thatcher so much at that point. You really needed the Jackal. Jackal getting killed, that was a big mistake. They really needed to take some time. They still had about a minute left to drone that out first, to go, okay, we have some idea where they're at. You're probably going to lose a drone pushing them where they were, right? Because they're all holed up. They're going to see that drone pretty quickly. But you get some idea, okay, we know they're in there. We need to put pressure from a different side and try and find a better way to attack that. Now, Maverick coming out here is a good choice, but guess what site they're on? You would think gym, but nope. We're going to get bomb.
Why?
We're going to get the bomb site with 0% win rate at the moment.
Ultimate tomfoolery.
Oh, it's possible it's not 0% win rate, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I'm trying to think back at...
I just don't want to be 100% if somehow there was like one win that I'm forgetting
Even when
about.
Dirk Zero was SK Gaming in the past, you remember when the game still counted the ticks in a certain way with the 0-0? It like added an extra second and a half or something like that.
Yeah.
When Nyx clutched an IQ, which definitely shouldn't have worked against Fox.
10 seconds to search.
Yeah, that was the time where it got played for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Realistically, and then it still was not won out. It was played also a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it still didn't work out in no way, shape, or form. And I think the best way, I don't remember who said it, but I remember when I was reviewing the VODs, and I had someone telling me about this, one of the pros, I believe it was North America. They're like, the big problem with the site is just, no, that was Yeti actually. It was an interview with Yeti a couple nights ago. I don't know what I'm thinking.
That if you take stock,
it's just the same thing as before. It doesn't really change at all.
The upside of the way that Black Dragons are bringing their operators, which were probably not prepared for this site, is the Maverick now can go to the pool side from the strip club, open up a few little peek holes with an ACOG, play it a little bit far back, and actually have a potential to catch them off guard because they're going to be focused on defending stock. You might catch someone in the back if you don't overplay your hand too early because you don't really have to take control of anywhere upstairs to make that play.
Very true, but just in case there was any sort of upstairs play from the attacking side of Black Dragons, there's already Revolts and the squad here. They're trying to hold on.
Yeah, and they see that someone is on the roof, so they know somewhat where that. If Revolt's going to stay alive for a long period here, that definitely will be kind of a problem for Black Dragons to get some kind of advantage upstairs. You do need to take top floor control to make this work.
The sidewall is also soft.
You know, they just almost like they called out to reinforce it.
I don't know if they even used all their reinforcements. I mean, I wish we could see.
Like I said, I feel like they're, it's just very common in Latin America to have someone in your pocket.
I'm so confused.
Well, iBlack's trying to take the top floor control. Again, I don't think he should be. There was hatches were already open. He didn't need to do anything with his, Maverick ability upstairs. Take advantage of the strip club wall being undefended. I mean, it's possibly he already opened some holes, but realistically, I doubt it. I don't think he was running with an ACOG either.
No,
so
that's holographic.
He wouldn't be able to play back on those holes. But he is going to get contested here and lose the fight, just due to the fact that he didn't have an idea where they were. And guess who did? Pulse.
And I'm not sure if the Pulse even used the C4 there to open up the closet for him to allow FK1 to go in for that fight against iBlack. Well, now still Panico coming in from the side. Bit of extra damage. No, none taken actually by the smoke. FK1 will find another one on Ion. Now you lose the Buck. You lose two huge operators and the top floor control. The Thermite suddenly doesn't seem like a good operator to have in this situation. And yeah, sure, you're in kitchen, you're taking control of the stairs, but top and bottom, they're all held by the defenders. They're going to try to walk in and plant in the side of the bar, but they have to watch for the stairway. There you go. Definitely not a stairway to heaven. Panico will find one. Spawns will go down. The Jaeger of FK1 is still above, and the diffuser somehow has been planted against all odds. That's
an unusual way to attack the site.
That's true. FK1 will fire in and can't really find the kill on Hugsword. Hugsword will fall back, fires back into the Pulse. Revolt is ready. Gabriel's with the second. GDN will spray, and he has control here of the kitchen, but it's not enough, and FK1 will find one more. The plant did go down here for the attacking side of Black Dragons, but paiN will bring it home.
In a round like that, sometimes I wonder why the attackers even had guns. I don't think they hit anything.
Well, they killed a guy, but that's it.
Yeah, one guy. It was just like, you saw every time we were spectating them, they were doing nothing but just sending bullets past, breezing, like, it's just
suppressive fire.
I guess at this point it was just, but they seem really off their game in terms of hitting shots in that situation. Might have just been kind of caught off guard. in a lot of ways by the bomb site and really struggled with that. But they seemed to find a way to go for the plant. They had a good job. You saw the Thermite with the drone inside of the middle of the bar, doing a good job checking around, making sure that the stairs were clear. Eventually even got the ping on the player on the stairwell so that they knew. But again, they still took the fights in a very strange way. And Black Dragons, you only get 1/6 pick, so one of those are going to have to stick.
I think they're calling for a rehost because there was a Nomad pick, then you can't do that.
Yeah, this is definitely not great picks.
I don't know why we would go for... I don't understand Portuguese that well.
Yeah.
That's literally my only...
What I know is this is definitely not what's supposed to be happening here for these guys. So they will just go for that rehost, I imagine. Touching. Gonna change around. Well, there's a sneaky...
You literally have a guy that just like puts an extra board like on top of us.
Yeah. It's like when you point at the phone number, call this number.
6 3 4 5 7 8 9. Don't call that number.
I don't know what number that's for.
That's from the Blues Brothers.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I thought it was like
it's
a real
song.
Number. Yeah.
Probably is a real number. Anyways, thank you guys for living through these technical issues with us here, but everything is ready to go, and we are of course in round number 6. paiN Gaming leading 3-2 against Black Dragons.
Well, this should be an attack that Black Dragons can win. It is winnable for them. They have the right utility for it. They're not going to bring the IQ this time, as just didn't work out for what they were trying to do, I suppose. But it would help against the Pulse again, potentially.
10 seconds left before insertion.
And be able to have an idea if they are able to, or know if there's anything to protect the church walls ahead of time. I mean, I guess if they start droning near it, they will see the Mute jamming. But it's interesting to see no Bandit being played at all by the defense, despite playing 2 different sites. So, you know, there's 4 rounds in which Bandit would have been useful, potentially, just not being played. But they are bringing a Thatcher consistently, and they don't want to do any kind of tricking, I guess. So Mute Jammers are not the worst choice, just because, well, you will get some of the same effect.
They're good. I mean, Mute's seen such a huge rise in popularity.
Sure, it certainly has.
And within the next couple of days, we'll have the correct statistics to show you, you know, to compare the operators. So this way we can all see them together and dig into more of why things are the way they are.
Yeah. The upside of what they're doing with the Mute is they are getting to bring a shotgun. So the way they're playing is they have one shotgun in the tunnel from smoke to be able to do the smoke delay and then shotgun when they get close. And then Mute as well to be able to do his thing on the doorway from Moto if they try and come from that way, because shotguns, well, they dominate that position. So
you can play the angle by the cooler, so it allows you to just peek in when your opponent... Usually what we're seeing is, how do you take damage?
Maybe from the Thermite?
Did he walk next to the charge? Oh, man.
I'm not entirely sure, because I didn't see just before the Thermite charge whether or not he had lost half his health or not, but he is definitely half health now, so not the greatest position to be in. Revolts, again, they're leaving that wall soft, but he's trying to do it for a reason. He's trying to set himself up to be able to C4 towards Moto if he needs to.
But it's odd, because there's already 2 C4s on the other side. You mentioned the Mute plays this in church, which is intriguing, because, well, you already can't counter through the wall above. You really need the extra pulse on the side, because it opens you up to so many strategies.
If they fall for this again, they need to not fall for that again.
Because, you know, I do understand your point, everybody's, which is, hey, well, you're gonna leave it soft, or you can fight it as well from the armory. Sure.
But I don't know if that's really worked so well.
Yeah, but especially if you're gonna have 2 C4s here, and the wall that is ready just to...
Oh, the wall actually getting open at the moment, and there's nothing you can do about it. That was interesting. They didn't have enough sparks, but... So they are ready. They need to go for the shotgun. They're going for a C4 throw. It looked like might have actually even hit the C4 midair.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it landed on the floor or not. We can't really hear it.
I think he hit it midair as he was throwing it, just because he was throwing it kind of low.
Flash into the back. No, GDN flashes, almost flashing himself there. The smoke will be given ample time to use his charge. Now, we'll see an extra smoke canister as well, landing right at the doorway. But there's 25 seconds on the clock. Panic will find one. Look at Revolt, so low on health. You mentioned the shotgun of the Mute. There's still 3 shells in the magazine, and they can definitely use that to their advantage here. The tube, that is. Panico and GDN will find a kill each, and nice one here to drop the diffuser on the floor. There's so little time left. They all have to fight the shotgun, and Hugzer will come around the corner on the Jackal and find the headshot. DCR goes down, and Black Dragons will actually tie it up 3-3 on the half.
So we could end up going towards our 3rd tie, but
I don't know, man. Like, this is a defense-sided map. You only get 3 rounds on the defense. when you're actually playing Church, if I'm correct, 4 times out of those 6.
So yeah, they played Church 4 times. They won it once. 1 out of 4, not the greatest on the best bomb site on this map at the moment. So yeah, that is not great. They did win Cash and Bar. So them winning Bar, I guess, was making up a little bit for them losing on the best bomb site by winning on the worst. So it will be that.
I don't think that are all bomb sites created equal.
I believe.
Can we check like the R6 amendment?
I'm pretty sure even if we were just playing in a grid with square rooms, it would at some point some bomb sites would not be.
That's also a great song. You know it. It's from your days.
From my days.
Yeah,
back before we had instruments.
It was all synthesizers.
We just played on bones.
It was all synthesizers. I don't know.
That's true.
Maybe
Yeah,
some people in chat will
times.
recognize Square Rooms. Pretty good song.
All right.
Music is nice, isn't it? I can harp on and on and on about like the music and the audio and everything.
Yeah.
Which is weird why we didn't hear or see the thermocharge going off in the previous round when it was a Church attack, but
it was just the case where it was and it could have even just been on the spectator side, just not
very
sparks. But you could definitely hear it going off. So.
Yeah, of course, Spark plays for Fatality as well.
Someday, maybe back in Pro League.
Yeah, they are going up in the Invitational qualifiers. I haven't checked what there's going on tonight. Maybe we'll have some sort of update by the end of the day. But that aside, Maverick has come into the garage, and that's of course FK1. The defense is downstairs, and I think having the Maverick just makes so much more sense. Well, we've seen, if you want to destroy the hatch, you can do it with 2.5 charge.
And we've seen teams doing it just fine in Latin America, even with, I believe, maybe it was, I almost feel like it was Ion. I don't remember exactly who it was. No, PX. I remember specifically doing it on for a Church attack, playing the Maverick inside the bar, opening the hatch. So.
Seen it on Bank as well, and you know, obviously, he's a very good operator. And hey, you would like to use the Maverick for this sort of attack, it works out fine. And it means that paiN were expecting the site to deal with the site
for good reason, because it is the site that you probably should be starting with.
Of course, the 2 exothermic charge still available. I'm not sure why Gabrielos is on his own.
Bad time.
There you go. That's the Maverick's job now. Unfortunately, expending a bit too much in his breaching torch. Yeah.
Like, he might have done something else. He might have done another hatch or something and been a bit low because of that. But either way, it's something you definitely want to make sure you're being efficient with.
Hogsword running the holographic here on the Alda. Not usually something you'd see because still the ACOG is so strong. There's a lot of long sightlines here where you'd like to deal with your opponents, but still, it is, of course, a personal decision.
I mean, even without the ACOG, you've got 80 bullets to try and make it work.
So maybe if you don't hit the guy with 80 bullets, the problem's not
I don't think the ACOG's gonna solve that.
Yeah, well, Revolts is gonna destroy as much as he can here from the kitchen. Maybe allow the thermite to open up the hatch. We haven't really seen the hatch in kitchen used to too much of a dramatic effect.
This is a lot more destruction, though, than we saw coming out from Black Dragons. This is more of an older way of doing it. A lot of teams now don't usually do it so destructive. But in this case where you don't have Hibana, it is definitely a case where you want to really make sure they can't do anything about the thermite breach charge, so they can't deny it. Deny Blacks, definitely not going to be trying to do so.
Yeah, just sitting in the back. Now, usually what you'll see is like, sometimes C4 being used, but a lot of times impact grenades, but here GDN doesn't really want to sacrifice any barbed wire for such a bit of utility. There's not a ton in those impact grenades for this. FK1, though, will find the kill on iBlacks, and that's a huge kill. That's through one of the Buck destroyed floorboards, which allows them to take down not only a C4, but also huge bit of utility on the defensive side. One smoke is off the side, and he's going to try to find the player in the back. Suddenly, he'll find one in the back is down. Panico will finish them off. 2 players for him. Revolts will get 1 kill. 2 seconds left in the clock. The diffuser will get picked up. Is there a shotgun in play? Yes. Can he find the kill? Yes, he'll find 1. Nitro Cell is still in hand. Do they have the info sent towards Ion? He'll try to play with the shotgun, but they're not sure of him. And Ion, oh man,
why did you do that?
He can't find the other guy who was actually alive, and Spawns will win out the round for paiN Gaming.
He did not, I mean, I suppose he killed the teammate so the teammate couldn't call him out, but at that point you just gave yourself away as well. There was holes in the wall.
I mean,
you could have been peeking.
Maybe he thought that he was prone on the ground trying to find him and didn't really you know, spot the guy that he already downed before.
I don't know.
Because he downed him through the wall.
Yeah.
So maybe he was unsure because, if I remember correctly, he just slid closer towards the bomb. But overall, that was...
Yeah, that should have been Black
There's
Dragon's
C4 in the
point
back.
off, but...
There is C4 in the back pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely should have been going for a throw on the hole, you know, right at the moment when you just come around mid, like ready to throw it, mid-throw, so that the teammate calling it out, it's too late at that point. All he can do is scream C4. But, I mean, I guess he'd hear the rip as well. But it is unfortunate because he could have shotgunned the teammate.
It was 0-0. They had to plant.
Yeah.
So it's not like you could do anything about the
and that's the thing
at that point.
He must have not seen that he downed the one guy. He must have not caught.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're not going to get the notification, but he must have just not noticed he downed him. But I feel
you get the audio.
I feel like we saw the body drop on screen without the outline.
And of course, for people that don't know this, in Pro League settings, you don't have the notification like the plus 50 points that says, you know, injured.
You literally have to watch your scoreboard to see that.
You can, actually.
Because, I mean, you still get the plus 50 points, you just don't see the notification for it. But if you're literally able to watch the scoreboard to see if you succeeded at something like that, you're very, very good at multitasking.
Yeah, you're not a Redeemer. Not everybody's a Redeemer.
Yet they still allow others to play Maestro and Echo.
And it's Latin America. Creates the Redeemer. Turns from a T-pose to a facepalm.
That's right.
Well, GDN's now at the top. It's odd to see the smoke fighting his position. I don't think he's going to stay here for long.
Have someone with an ACOG be playing this. You have a Doc on your team. Perfect person to be playing this position. I mean, yeah, reviving can get you killed because you stand up automatically, but still.
The Thermite very quickly goes in and destroys the wall into garage, which, in my opinion, is not that great of a thing early on. I think it's better to open up the wall on the balcony first.
Well, yeah, because if you're attacking garage and you can't attack cache, it doesn't do you any good.
Also, you know, you have the Maverick, so what you can do is you know, guys, if you've watched this map before and Habana is in play, then what you'll usually see is the Habana will use one of her Skyros charges to use it on the top side of the garage, and this way it allows you to get a line of sight all the way down into the window here close to the servers from the garage. You know, maybe using the Maverick in that way would have been a better option earlier on, as now over a minute and a half, actually around a minute and a half, have already been expended, and the Thermite will go for a top-down dive, which is a much safer way of using your charge.
That whole play right there is why you see Maverick banned on this map typically. And
the wall is soft. Okay.
It's just definitely more for that fluid level of play. It's a stylistic thing that if it works for your team, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it, as Yeti mentioned. But GDN trying to fight too much again, he's going to die. Panico, though, hoping to keep control of the garage, failing to do so because, well, while Maestro is such a beast, it's still against an Ash.
Great peek here from the Ash, just watching the second angle from the garage. Now it's a 3v5. Of course, advantage for paiN Gaming. They can just walk in whenever, and they have the smokes as well to back it all up. Hugzord will be forced to push, and he'll find two! Huge 2 kills on the outside balcony. Ion with one more shotgun in hand, though. Looks like the Mute will push in, and he'll find it. Gabrielos is down on the floor, and Revolt's suddenly the last man alive, and it was a 3v5. It turns into a 1v3.
Ooh, Hugzord getting healed up as well from Ion.
This is not working out for paiN Gaming at all. He'll have to walk up the grenade. Oh, no.
That might have been that was literally your Hail Mary throw there. Oh, here we go. Oh,
he dives right on him. Oh, I black.
Did he get the 5 damage at least?
Trample damage because you fell on your opponent.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
That's what I refer to as the stop almost.
Oh, man, that was some high-flying maneuver 619 right there. Off the top rope, so you look out below. And then the next thing you know, you'll be on the floor. Yeah.
Well, a good defense from Black Dragons, definitely. I mean, I still question the smoke plays in the garage, but other than that, worked out fairly well. I mean, I think they eventually somewhat backed off the garage, especially once they lost trying to contest it with Maestro. But the Jaeger kills, that was really what saved them. His ability to just get that run out. Well, I wouldn't even call it a run out because he didn't actually go outside. But his counter to their push outside, peek out, I guess, was definitely a nice play to see. Worked out quite well. So they can go back to church now because they did lose it, so they didn't have to go to cash. I was thinking for a second there, like, wait a minute, how are they going back to the church? It's like, oh, that's right, they lost it because they made the misplay towards the end.
Yes, because the mute could...
Yeah.
I mean, obviously in that situation, you're 1v2, but the time is on your side. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, it was just, hey, there's a lot of pressure in that moment.
Honestly, if he had seen he downed him, then it was definitely the case where A, he should have finished the kill, and B, he should have gone for the planter, or at least baited around enough.
Man, that's some big arm strength from the Maestro. Just hit the RPG and split it in two.
Right?
Well, they do say that the operator is built up around myself, so I can't.
All right, well, you'll have to demonstrate that on stream sometime, so we can see how it's done.
Easy.
Easy for Milos.
Yes, well, this is like a Russian accent for an Italian operator.
Well, no, for Milos.
Milos.
I don't know how to say your name in
It's
which
not even my
language it's
name.
in. It's true. It's true. All right.
If I'm not mistaken as well, Milos means like love in Polish. Someone will have to
Aw.
correct me. Yeah. Lovey
Isn't that
dovey.
beautiful?
Well, Panico just holding off in the back here in blue. He's got ADS as well to protect him. It's a pretty good spot to be in. We've seen this so many times. Now, paiN actually used this very effectively by having one player in the armory that can instantly come in and back up the Jaeger that's playing in this position. Now, the Maverick is the one to watch out for here because reaching torch, of course, can allow you to destroy that extra, you know,
That is a weird way to go about it here.
Why?
I don't know if this is actually the more efficient way to do it, but
No, actually, it is. It is.
That worked out fine.
That is 100% the way you did it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like it's just the amount of damage you do, regardless. But hard to say. Either way, does get the hatch open successfully, and again, that's breaking the Maverick is definitely something we should have seen.
It's definitely not the amount of damage that you do, because you can actually burn like 3 charges and still not be able to destroy it.
I guess, yeah, if you do it in a really weird way.
It has to do with the way that the struts are actually like designed around it. It's pretty interesting actually.
Kind of like the way you could do it with there's some weird tricks you could do with the reinforced walls. Fortunately, maybe due to some shots from above there, Panico getting down, he's going to get picked back up though, so not a big deal. Looks like they actually have that wall there opened.
Are they gonna be able to open the kitchen? Oh, there we go. We have shards that can be used, but it does not hit. That's the impact grenade that was set up by iBlacks. Not enough, and Ions from, wow, that's a...
Nice shot through that.
Okay. I'll find the kill on GCR. I'll take down the Ash. So the spearhead of the attack is now taken out. I'm not sure if the Ash had any equipment to use later on in the round.
No, you gave it away. You had the advantage there. Panico, I mean, still at half health. You could still win the fight, but you didn't have to give that away because now you're the one who's kind of pinned down.
Bomb located by
Still alive. Of course, the Jaeger, as you mentioned. Blue will fire in, but iBlacks will be the one to finish him off. That's a huge loss now. Not only do you lose the Maverick at this point in the round, but also,
Again, you need to clear ADSs. You know there's a Jaeger.
The big part of losing the Maverick in that situation is now you don't have anyone to hold the flank and push in from that side.
So the Thermites bring in Claymores. That's why they're not clearing ADS.
This is so odd. All the smoke grenades have now been used in the back. Panico running in from blue because there's no one to watch the flank. GDM will get one, and Ion for the last one of the shotgun spawns will go down. Despawning from the round. Black Dragons will find the defense.
I mean, they're looking pretty good on that. I mean, now they have to go somewhere that's not church or cache. This is the test right here, right? Because
bedroom.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, their choices aren't as great anymore.
Yeah.
Because church and cache are definitely better than gym and bar.
I would say 100% bar, but gym and bedroom, pretty good.
But really, you would consider it above cache or church?
No.
Exactly.
It'd definitely be your third one. Now,
that's what I mean.
Back when it was, in my opinion, completely broken, and you could very easily impact trick.
Well, yeah, that was when it was good.
That was when it was way too good. Now it's still good, but it's because there's other options, you can explore them. And this is why this map has three sites that you can rotate through pretty efficiently if you're on the defense.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
We've seen teams, fairly often lose bedroom, but it's like, it's not a big deal because if you're losing bedroom, that means you're winning your other 2 sites. So it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's not a terrible thing. But I mean, it's certainly nice if you can win. I mean, if you can win bar, that's great. But if you can win bedroom, that's also great. They will have the double heart breacher though, and this is something that will make it extra problematic potentially to deal with this.
10 seconds left.
Usually though, part of what made it, doable before when there was the impact tricking was the Hibana, which is now banned, but it doesn't matter as much anymore because you can't do the impact tricking. So, what can you do? I mean, maybe there's some kind of way to do something through the drone hole, but I don't know. You'd have to, maybe it'd have to be a weird evil eye angle, something like that. Oh, there we go. One camera down. Probably not the greatest time to be staring through it when you know he's also looking for it.
Dude, especially if it's not going to bring you much in the way of intel.
That's when you kind of hop off it for a second. If you go back to it and it's static, well, you know what happened.
No, the thing is here, there's a few ways of setting up in, especially the restroom that we see in the back, because, well, some teams will fully reinforce it.
And some will set up the rotate.
Yeah, some will set up a rotate. Some will just leave the wall soft but not have a rotation until later in the round.
Yeah.
Gabrielos just finds a kill. And that was the smoke that was pulling off the rotation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, the smoke.
Because, oh, look at that. The Maverick already found the holes. And, of course, there's the drone hole. Easy kill there to take down the smoke. Well, not so easy, but still, important kill overall. That's an impact frag right there.
Yeah, and when they're consistently bringing the Maverick, you're not really getting a ton out of the mute jammers, outside of using them perhaps to stop the drones, but you're certainly not going to stop the wall from getting opened. That was only a minute 15 in, got it open just fine, and in fact got a kill out of it from the thermite. So,
now watching the drone hole here, iBlax won't find anyone. The instant he goes away, the instant he goes away, there's players all moving around. The Maestro even.
Oh, this position.
Watching it from below, he should have been spotted. He has to rotate all the way back. It's a 1-speed, and that's not great. GDN will find one, though. Maverick's been taken out. GCR is at 50% health. And you see, iBlack's setup. He's got Nitro Cell in hand in the bathroom. Can chuck up. Oh, they're all lining up. If only he had the
might be a hard angle to throw, though. Fortunately, he does find one, and that's 2 down now in that hole. So they're going to stack up on that hole. They really need to be potentially pushing from cash, even put a little pressure on.
Yeah, I'm not sure why everybody's just moving in from one spot, and he'll spot the shoulder, I guess, in the back, not spray into it, though. Very smart here. Good control from iBlax, but he fires into the Ash. He can't find the kill. GCR low on health as well. Not sure if there's a Claymore outside. iBlax, though, will not rush, and he actually finds the hit. GCR is down on the floor.
Wow.
And paiN will have to go for the pickup. Of course, Black Dragons do not know that. They don't have the information unless
he dropped anyways. He can't get him now. What?
Spawn's rotating in from Strip Club, and he'll find the kill on Panicle all on his own. Now, Ion will rotate back. iBlax will connect on a GCR, and GDN will lose the fight against Gabrielos. They're peeking right into him. 18 seconds left on the clock. Diffuser is in the hands of Gabrielos, but Spawn's on the opposite end. They'll need him to help him out, and Gabrielos somehow he'll find the kill. Ion's still in the back. Nitro Cell available to fight from the construction room, and he'll find the kill. 1v1, 3 seconds on the clock, and Ion's smart play. He'll fall back, and they can't find him. Black Dragons will win the round here, number 10 in hand, and there we go. He still even hasn't found him there at the end.
Wow. Well, that secures Black Dragons at least the 1 point, but with the way they've been playing and the fact they can now go back to cash, good chance they go away with the win, potentially here. As I'm not seeing a good chance of paiN coming back, but they did. I mean, they had some good plays that round, but they lost way too many people at that hole, and then, unfortunately, they just were not able to do a good job droning out and sectioning off the position of a lot of the defenders. You saw, for example, there was a couple of times where the defenders just repositioned themselves and managed to win. They just picked a different angle. As soon as they were spotted, they would fire and move, and fire and move. And that was the smart plays there coming out of Black Dragons. They were able to do that. It was unfortunate they got caught out in the bar. I imagine they were going to go for the pickup on the Ash at some point as well, so they were rotating around to do that, and he was going for the kill on the Ash, potentially.
The thing that I found very interesting is the Maestro was off the site for so long.
Yeah.
I like the idea of trying to peek in from the tunnel.
But do it with someone faster, right?
And I mean, there was no one there to connect, but you know, he went all the way back up. He wanted to fight the gym position from below in the pool table.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
which makes it is 100% a legitimate thing. The bailiff opened up the angle, and now they can just not have to watch the window from gym, because Maestro is supposed to do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how things go down this round. Ion setting up some angles here. Potentially has maybe the evil eye to be able to see through those as well, depending. He has one set up higher. No, he doesn't have one on above the table there, but he could set one up if he wanted to and be able to actually look through that. But he's actually going to fight an interesting long angle. I like the idea. He can fight towards the top of the catwalk stairs there, all the way from back in the site. No one's really going to contest him from there. So that is a smart approach, unless they're starting to push in from the bedroom side. Not really going to do much about that. And they look like they're going to go for the typical open up the server wall by doing what they did last time. And I appreciate that Maverick was being very careful about it last time. He didn't open up the whole floor. He just opened up just enough to take out the mute jammers and move on. Like, right, you don't want to open up the whole thing just yet. You want to get the mute jammers out of the way, and then maybe open up a bunch of it as Thermite gets ready to swing down from below and do his thing, which is it's always nice that when Thermite can do the old upside down Spider-Man breach.
Now, what I really like is the fact that the Maverick is not opening up too much, as you said, but also that he's careful enough to open just the specific parts where the jammer would be.
Yeah.
Because anything more than that, and it opens him up to so much firepower or even nitro cells coming into him. And this is really weird. The smoke and the mute are both holding off.
Well, at least he's not using the SMG-11. He's trying to use the MP5, but he's the one taken down.
Yeah, the mute will be lost in the back, and he still has nitro cell, which would be exactly what he'd like to use right now. Spawns will find one as GTN's in the back. GCR just, you know, coming in from below. And the FK1 will find it. GDN's down, and Ion at least will find the kill on FK1, just vaulting up on the table.
The position he set up earlier absolutely paid off.
Very much indeed, but was it worth taking the 30 damage and losing the mute and the smoke?
If you're going to have two people up there, you don't need the angle, and if you have the angle, you don't need two people up there.
Especially if all you killed is the Maverick. Maverick already did his job.
Yeah, and it wasn't even either of them that killed the Maverick. Yeah, it was definitely a confusing play in terms of sacrificing two decent, especially late in the round with the C4 and smoke operators. But Panico looking for any kind of Claymore, seeing none.
Oh.
Seeing no drones as well.
There you go. He'll take down the Claymore. He'll go in for the kill. He'll find one, but not the second. Revolts from below, just taking a bit too long. Panico will go down. Great play there here as it did slow down paiN Gaming, and now it turns into a 2v2. Now this is the excitement that has definitely been awaited in this matchup. So the Buck and the Jackal are setting up to go. 20 seconds on the clock, and all the pressure is on paiN Gaming. Not only the case for the... Oh, even harassing the Buck, getting a bit more damage done. A vault right over as Ion might just want to fire right in. No, he'll lose the fight against the Jackal. Spawn somehow still alive. Hugsword will find one. Low on health is still Spawns. He has to go for the plant. He has control, but Spawns will find the kill, and the Jackal will save the day and make sure that paiN will live to fight another round.
Yeah, just barely in this. They still have the potential to go for the tie here if they can win one more round. I gotta imagine now, though, they can go back to church. That's where they should go. Don't fight Cash. Again, the strategy for defending the catwalk is not really working out. You're not playing anyone with ACOGs. Nope. Are you guys really gonna go back to Cash? No. Okay. Good.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely not the play.
The door is right there.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a call. That's not it, Chief.
They definitely. I mean, the Cash room defense, the Maestro play on it is smart when they're playing the ACOG with that. But then putting two people without ACOGs at the top, right there, in a position where they're not going to be very effective on it. I mean, the MP5 is great when you has an ACOG on it. But when it's just mute, not as much so much. It just doesn't do a ton of damage.
Yeah, which is why now we'll see the shotgun in play.
Yep.
I think it goes a bit deeper than just that. I don't understand why both the mute and the smoke were playing upstairs.
Yeah, especially the smoke.
In the garage. Why were they playing there when they could just be in Cash, where they probably should be?
No, I mean, I know this is a region that will very often have roaming smokes. But guess what? Those are in situations where he can use the SMG-11 or the shotgun effective because he's often in close quarters. Say, for example, Oregon top floor.
Yeah, WAG right. Oregon on the top floor. We watch it.
And that's where it still can make sense. At the top of the catwalk there, it doesn't add up no matter how you calculate it. The SMG-11 is just not going to be nearly as effective right there.
Well, we'll see how Black Dragons adapt in this one. Of course, this might just turn into the third tie of the season right now, and of course the first one in Latin America. Would definitely be an interesting outcome, but Black Dragons can just end it right here right now and take those 3 points away. Is of course the only way for paiN Gaming to get anything out of this game is to tie it and get 1 point at the end of the day. And you really don't want to get only 1 point. I know it's early on in the season, but we've seen how one game lost or tied early on in the season has affected the teams at the top as the season progressed.
Okay, one's going to have to be careful because he hasn't used any of his torch yet, and he's already taking shots. Same with Thermite, who has yet to use it. I mean, I understand you have other people doing other jobs, but I don't know if it's the best idea to be risking the life of either of your hard breachers. But I guess if they get away with it, then that's okay. They're just kind of pre-firing a little bit, just trying to keep them at bay. But I believe it looks like the stock hatch was opened. It's possible it could have even been soft, and they just bucked it open. I wasn't able to see if Maverick had been the one to do it, as it looked like Thermite had both his charges still in store.
Yeah, Panico watching, he's just watching the hatch here. There's no one's going to push him through that. Now, a weak part of paiN Gaming's attack is that they haven't really been able to secure that just blue engine room.
Yeah.
Consistently.
I mean, they've been very focused on it this round. They keep going over and peeking the stairs to make sure they have control at least of the stairs, and pre-firing the angle that they have a little bit better shot at. But either way, they are getting hatches open. They're getting some.
Oh
again,
no!
It seems like they don't understand the impact trick for that because they're throwing it in a very different position. GCR in the meantime killing Ion. Ion losing his life, potentially trying to contest that. Might have even been going for a C4 throw.
That was a great kill there. Now, not only do you lose the mute, but you also lose a huge C4 that could have been great to have on Church. And suddenly, Church is basically completely open. Yeah, sure, you still have Hugsword there on the Maestro, but this allows FK1 to just disrupt his opponent so well. GDN on the smoke is playing inside of the tunnel as this round turns more and more in the way of paiN Gaming. Low on health as well as iBlacks will go down. Still not eliminated, just DBN out. Find the kill in the ash. No! How does he do it? GCR finds it and then revolts with 2 more. That was a very swift end to the round going the way of paiN Gaming. And ladies and gentlemen, our first tie in Latin America Pro League will happen play day number 3. Black Dragons versus paiN Gaming, 6-6 draw, which usually will mean, oh, we won't have an interview, but we weren't going to get an interview anyways.
Yeah.
But
well, it's interesting that Playday 3 seems to be the day for draws so far for region, so I'm interested in EU Playday 3. Will they have their first draws as well?
Yeah, we'll see. Good to see that as the, of course, the week progresses, as we're only